paper attempting strategy. There were a few questions or areas in the paper where I could have gone wrong, and or maybe I would not have found time for it, considering the fact that the paper this year was a little lengthy. But either due to smart work or due to luck, not gonna lie, that was also there. Due to one or both of these factors, I was able to avoid making mistakes. So let's look at some questions. Firstly, in physics, the third question, a body is executing simple harmonic motion with frequency n, the frequency of its potential energy is. Here, there is a very simple reasoning that you can use to solve this. In the expression for potential energy, which is 1 by 2 m omega square x square, you see that the amplitude term has, the displacement term has a square, which means it is not possible for it to take a negative value. And we know that the frequency of simple harmonic motion is n because the displacement can take positive or negative terms. On the other hand, potential energy can only take positive terms. So because of that, we can automatically say that the frequency of potential energy will be double that of displacement. So hence we can say that if the frequency of SHM is n, the frequency of its potential energy will be 2n. Let's take another question from physics, the 32nd question, the velocity of a small ball of mass m and density d when dropped in a container, and so on. It is given here that velocity becomes constant after some time. If the density of glycerin is d by 2, then viscous force acting on the ball will be. This question can be solved almost mentally. Like, don't do it mentally because there's some room for mistakes, but you will have a fair idea of it by yourself. Think about it. The density of the ball is d, and the liquid in which it is immersed has density half. So since the expression for the weight of the body would be v rho g, where rho is the density of the body, and for viscous force it is again v rho g, where rho is the density of the liquid, we can automatically say that the upthrust on the ball is going to be half of the weight. But on the other hand, it is given that velocity is constant after some time, which means that net force on the ball is 0 according to Newton's first law. So hence we can say that the net force on it is 0. So the whatever remaining force is there to balance the part of weight which is not balanced by upthrust comes from viscous force. So automatically mg minus mg by 2 leaves us with mg by 2. Let's look at the 60th question of chemistry. Questions like this is where you can save time, because the minute you look at the question, you see that this is something which has come directly from NCERT. It is addition on the basis of anti-Markovnikov rule, because you see HBr, you see an organic peroxide, automatically you add the bromine part of it away from, in the less substituted one, and you can say that the answer is the second option. So in no time you can solve this question and move on, because you need to make time for the other more difficult ones. Now let's look at a question from biology. The 170th question. This was even subject to a little bit of confusion and controversy, and I'll be honest, I got this question more or less through luck. Because look at this question. This is one of those biology questions that can take a little bit of time. So let's look at it step by step. Venereal diseases can spread through. There are 5 statements: using sterile needles, transfusion of blood, infected mother to fetus, kissing, inheritance. Choose the correct answer. So I was a little bit confused about this when I went through the 5 statements. So in questions like this, especially in biology, or a question which says choose the correct option or incorrect option, one very useful tool which you can use here is elimination. So I know for a fact that using sterile needles and inheritance is not correct for the spread of venereal diseases. So anything which has A and E in it can automatically be eliminated. So now you can move your focus entirely to the third and fourth option. The third option here is B, C and D. The fourth option is B and C only. This is where I took a little bit of a leap of faith, because I was completely certain about B and C. Kissing, I was mostly sure it's not right. Like most of the venereal diseases I've read about did not have kissing mentioned as a mode of transmission. And it's not mentioned in NCERT either, which, as most of us know, is the basis, is the source material for the NEET exam. So based on that, I took a little bit of a guess here and I went for the fourth option. B and C, which thankfully turned out to be correct. So here one thing I would like to say is, by elimination, if you can bring it down to 2 options, you're a little confused between the two, but you're still confident, you know, one option seems more correct than the rest. If you have that, you know, kind of risk taking ability and courage to take that risk, and also if you're ready to accept the consequences, I would say take that shot. Don't take a blind guess. If both of them seem correct to you, then there's really no point in taking a 50-50 shot, right? But if you do feel more strongly about one option than the other and you have valid reasons for going for that, then please go for it. If I had left out this question, I would definitely have lost my shot at a perfect score. So if you are leaning towards something and you have a good reason to believe in that, and you are ready to accept the consequences, whatever it is, then go for it.